Hello folks, welcome back to some more Hobby Nightmares. We have a singular Hobby Nightmare today. One, because I wanted to give it some breathing space and breathing room. This is the first Games Workshop centric one we've had in quite some time. So, whenever they come along, I treasure them. I put them out into the world because they are fun to read. I think most of you have always been curious of what goes on behind the scenes. This might be a good one, bit of a fun one for you. But first of all, if you like what I do, subscribe to the channel, like the video. It really does help out and helps my ego too to see people enjoying the content. It's really nice. I'm terrible at this because I never ask people to do any of these things because I like to just dive into the Hobby Nightmares. I don't like wasting people's time. God damn it. Although I am just wasting people's time by not getting into the Hobby Nightmare. Anyway, let's get into it. It's Whiskey Jack, and he says, "Hey North, Whiskey Jack here. I hope everything is going well where you are. I wanted to write in just to talk about my experience and maybe ask for a bit of advice. There is a Hobby Nightmare in here, I promise, and it is rather special. It is a story of revenge, although not intentional, but equally satisfying. Back in the day, I applied to work for Games Workshop as a blue shirt. The red shirts were long gone for a while before I got accepted for a job at my local store. Yeah, I do remember them being red shirts before they were blue shirts. Yeah, are they still blue shirts? Normal staffers, are they still in blue shirts? Or are they black now? I don't know. In my time, it's blue shirts for staff and then black for manager. Anyway, the manager, Mike, was a decent guy and was really into World War I reenactment. He was also heavily into Imperial Guard, so in the beginning, especially in my interview, we really got on. I think what got me the job was that I literally knew everything there was to know about the Guard, and when he showed me his Elysian drop troops, his pride and joy, I was genuinely excited to see them. That's nice, man. This was all in the interview, remember, while the girl from recruitment just kinda looked bored in the corner of the room. I noted that I was also the only applicant to wear a suit that day, and the recruitment lass told me that this would stand me in good stead. It will. It will. Games Workshop love when you treat their interviews as if they're, really, really, really important. Because they might be to you, Elysian Drop Troops. They are pretty cool looking models, aren't they? Oh, there's a kill team now of Elysian... Oh, they're all Tempestus dudes. Okay. Tempestus Aquilons, they are now. Okay, alright, well, I've looked them up online because I want to know what they look like. Anyway, a few weeks after the interview, the manager called me to offer me the job, and I was so happy. I was a college student with little to no funds to my name at the time, so being able to work at Games Workshop whilst not having to pay any rent was massive. It gave me pocket money, the ability to actually buy books and models, thanks to them being half price, and the huge nerd cred I got at University Wargaming Club was grand. Yeah, man. Yeah. The only way, by the way, you can actually afford to do this hobby if you work for Games Workshop in retail, right, is if you don't have to pay rent. That's the only way. They don't pay you enough otherwise, even at half price, to justify getting models. By the way, don't do that, because if you do that, you're literally putting money the company has spent, you're paying you, back into the company. That's a silly thing to do. Anyway, so yeah, this job became a big deal to me. It slowly became my focus, and when my studies concluded, it became a full-time job. The thing is, as soon as I left university and needed the job, the dynamic between Mike and myself started to shift a little. His requests became barks of command. All the worst jobs of the store were now mine alone, instead of us working as a team like we had once done. I was no longer allowed to run games in the store, this was his privilege only, and the only models I was allowed to paint with for the store displays, or remarkably, for Mike's own armies that he couldn't be bothered painting. Dude, that has happened so many times in Hobby. That is like a calling card in Hobby Nightmares. Whenever we hear of a manager being a bit of a cretin, he always has the staff painting his models for him, his personal models. It's like a, I would say, yeah, a calling card's a good way of putting it. Do you know what I mean? Like a signature move I once caught him telling a customer that he had painted his converted Vostroyan Commissar when in fact I had painted it painstakingly over 5 lunch breaks. Dude, he's not allowed to get you to do that. You don't get paid. So in Games Workshop, you don't get paid for your lunch breaks. He's not allowed to do that. You're not getting paid. So leave. Go somewhere else for your lunch. He's not allowed to do that. I was really pissed and asked Mike straight up why he did that. He told me it didn't matter who painted it so long as the interaction with the customer went well. His demeanour towards me slowly slipped from colleague to underling and then, well, to enemy. I will never understand what caused it. There was no argument, no ranting, no mistake for him to turn on me like he did. All I can think of was that he was always like this deep down, and that kind of sucked. Yeah, man, like, it is literally... There's nothing worse than finding out somebody that you really like is not the person you thought they were. That's difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is hard. I'm right there with you, man. I've had friends like this in the past where you really get along and you're having a really good time, you know, and then you catch them saying something about you, like you come around the corner at the wrong time when they don't know you're there. Do you know what I mean? Something like that happens, and you're just crushed, man. You're crushed, you know. In more ways than one, like you're crushed because, you know, you thought this would be a really good person for you to have a really good relationship with, like a good friendship with, but also, like, you're crushed because your trust has been, you know, ripped out. You're like, okay, well, I can't trust you anymore. This really sucks. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you've got to spend all day with them too. Oh my god, this has got to be like hell. This is horrible. One day, we were clearing the stock room before opening on a busy Saturday morning. The sun was out, it was summer, and it was sweltering inside. Our stock room was 3 stories up as we were in a shopping centre. I am clearing models from cabinets to be cleaned and I place our own models, his in expensive carry cases and mine in toilet paper, I shit you not, out of the way so we can spray and dust the shelves. It is, as I said, the height of summer at this time and I'm sweating like a pig as I start work. So I open the window. I then go about my business of dusting the whole place, trying not to cough as I do so. Mike, obviously, as you do, is downstairs sipping a coffee and reading a White Dwarf in the sun out of the back parking space. As I dust, I move backwards to check that I got all the dust from the shelves that I've been scrubbing, only to feel something push against the back of my leg and then immediately drop away. This is followed by a loud crash. My heart sinks and I turn. One of the boxes on the windowsill has gone out of the open window. I check, with rising panic, to see which one it was. Mike's prize Elysian drop troops. I am sacked. I know it, and I want to cry. Dude. There's nothing more, there's nothing more powerful in your repertoire as a Games Workshop staffer or manager than not really caring whether you keep your job or not. Do you know what I mean? If you're drinking the Kool-Aid and you actually think working for them is the greatest thing to ever happen to you, they've got you. Do you know what I mean? They've got you by the short and curlies. That's it. Like, they got you now. You know. This is horrible. Apparently, Mike was sitting downstairs, sipping his coffee and catching rays, when the box slammed into the tarmac next to him in the delivery parking area. Plastic and bits flew everywhere as the thing exploded. His model smashed into so many pieces that a Golden Demon winner couldn't have put them back together with a year's notice and all the super glue that money can buy. Oh my god. That paints an image. He must have absolutely shat himself. Mike was fucking furious. He shot up the stairs, swearing and ranting as he went. He told me to go the fuck home and stay there until he had fixed things. I left, and actually called into head office to let them know what I had done. I was just finished. I was not going to go and worry about my fate all weekend though. I was ripping the plaster off and accepting my fate. I was done with this. Fair enough, man. Yeah, I'd have done the same thing. Yeah, don't live with it all weekend. Get in front of it. You've done the right thing. Yeah. Yeah. Now, North. Do you know what the guy on the other end of the phone did? Another former manager, now acting as a trainer at Nottingham. He laughed his ass off. He told me not to worry and that it was an honest mistake. Nobody was hurt, and I couldn't be sacked for destroying a few models. When I corrected him nervously that it was Mike's entire Elysian collection, he only laughed harder and told me not to worry and that he'd have a word with Mike, and then put the phone down, still laughing the last time I heard him. That's amazing. That's brilliant. What a Chad of a trainer. What a Chad. What an absolute... That's cool, man. That's cool. That's cool. You probably made his day. You know what? I think this Mike dude has a rep. Something's telling me this Mike dude isn't pleasant. And, yeah, they were quite happy to see him get his comeuppance a little bit. A few months later, when a job came up nearby at another store, I applied for it. A sidestep into another sales position, but when asked why I was applying for it by the confused new manager of that store, the recruiter in the room just started laughing and said, "Falling Elysians." Oh, man. Yeah, he had a ref. This guy had a ref. Absolutely. I got that job, and a few years later, when the manager moved on, I took over the store as interim manager, and then, when I did quite well, as full-time manager. I've been here a few years now, and I'm starting to get itchy to have something more. I do look around and think, fuck, I'm in my 30s. Is this really it? Do you ever get that? Yeah. I do, man. There is. It's not quite midlife crisis because you're in your 30s, but it is, in my opinion, it is a form of you're realizing, oh my god, the world is actually a lot smaller than I thought it was. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, this is it. Yeah, I'm never leaving this earth. I'm never leaving this continent or country or whatever. In this job. That's one of the things that will terrify me about working for a retail company like Games Workshop, knowing that you're never really going to have the money to go to, travel and stuff, right? Maybe if you really save and you're really clever, you can. But, and when I say go abroad, I don't mean Holland. Every fucking Games Workshop manager I know regales me with, oh, I went to Holland. Why? 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 The only GW managers I know who went to Holland ended up in a fucking strip club. Why is it always Holland? Is it cheap? I don't know. Maybe it's the only one they can afford. I don't know. But it is a weird thing that every Games Workshop manager I tend to come across is like, oh, going on a holiday. Oh, where are you going? Holland. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Is there some sort of Eyes Wide Shut club over there that they all go to? I don't know. Anyway, now that I've got that picture in your heads, yeah, you get to that stage in your life and you kind of I need more money to do the things I want to do. Or I need more, or if not more money, more flexible hours. I need more free time or something like that so I can do what I actually want to do. There's nothing wrong with that, dude. There's nothing wrong with having that conversation with yourself and just saying, hey, maybe it's time I look for something else. There's nothing wrong with that. I am reaching the end of my rope with the near constant chase of cash, KPIs, training seminars, and just generally being on my own in the store. Weekends get me by. It's always super busy, and so the store makes money on weekends. During the week, though, it's an absolute ghost town. What good is the hobby and working in it if for 90% of the week I'm completely alone? I'm going crazy here. Would you stay? I have a few irons in the fire, and was actually offered a position running a friendly local game store recently, and I've not given them my answer yet. It has a very good reputation though. I'm just afraid of walking out of one job that is perfectly fine into another if the other one doesn't work out, even though it pays a little more. I have a computer science degree. Do I dust that off? What would you do here? Thanks for all you do, North. Whiskey. Alright. I'm going to be honest with you, dude. You're in a better position than you realise. Okay? Yes, I would leave. If you're asking me the question and you're talking like this, you need to leave. I would go to this new friendly local game store. I'd work my arse off, but I would also use my computer science degree to shop myself around. Have a look at the job market. What's out there that you might like? Is there a training course you can go on to get that job that you'd really like? Put more irons in the fire, as you said it there, right? Go out there and take the new job, all right? But kind of put the feelers out. See what else is out there. Is there something you can do with that degree? There's nothing wrong with you taking this job and then in a few months' time, 6 months' time, getting something else. Companies are not loyal to you, dude. Do not be loyal to them. The loyalty thing has gone out the window. You don't get your watch anymore. You don't get a good retirement plan unless you're working for the civil service, right? There's no loyalty, right? You be loyal to yourself. Whenever you get a better offer or something better, leave. Leave. Go do something else. Go to this new store. Give them all you have. All right? Work hard. Make sure you repay their faith in you. But let them know that you have, eventually when you get that job that you really want to go for, make sure that you go for the job, right? You apply for the job, and if you get it, give them notice. You give them the legal notice that they need to have. Such is life, man. Don't feel bad. Such is life. They would have done it to you. I'm telling you now. I know so many dudes who stay at companies because they don't want them to tank without them. They'll feel really bad leaving other people in the lurch. Dude, they'd do the same to you in a heartbeat. They'd sack you in a second. If they could replace you with nothing, so they didn't have to pay you, they'd sack you in a second, man. Right? In a millisecond, you'd be gone. Alright? It makes no sense to be ultra loyal to companies that don't have your best interest at heart. They've given you a job, that's great. Get along with them, fantastic. Make friends with them, also fantastic. But, business is business, and sometimes you need to go and do your own things. That's what I would do if I were you. I would leave Games Workshop, I would go to this new store, I'd work really, really, really hard, I'd ingratiate myself to the new owners, or whoever they are, right? And then I'd get my degree, and I'd shop around and see what else is out there, just in case. Keep your options, man, just in case. Lads, anybody listening to this, never, ever, 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 don't ever let me catch you doing this. Don't ever put all of your eggs in one basket. Don't ever bank on one job, one thing being the be-all and end-all. Always have another option. Always have something in your back pocket. Even if there's nothing ready to go right now, if you've got the feelers out there, if you're already talking to other companies, if you're already talking to other people, you never know. You may just go from one thing into another. The amount of dudes out there that I know, right, who start another job very quickly. Why? Not because they applied and they got lucky, because they already did the networking. They already did the hard work. Especially in nerdy professions like computer programming, game development, right? Coding, even in the hobby. Most of the guys who I know who go from job to job, who never seem unemployed, do that because they've got their, as you put it, a really good way of putting it, irons in the fire. They've got dudes. They know a guy who knows a guy, right? They're all there. Even if nothing is going to come of it, always make sure you put the extra effort into networking and getting to know people around you, people in your industry, or in the industry you want to be in. There's nothing wrong with just putting your name out there, saying, hey, here's who I am, I will work hard for you, I will do this for you, I want to be in this industry, please give me a shot, and if you can't give me a shot, then please keep me in mind. I'm going to be over here working my butt off for these people, because, that's the kind of guy I am. But please, keep me in mind if something comes up, because what you do is what I want to do. Dude, I'd be impressed by that. If somebody sent me an email like that in any business that I ran, I'd be like, yeah, this guy's got the chutzpah. I want to talk to him. I want to see what he has. So do that, man. Do that. Do it. Absolutely. Life's too short. Life is simply too short for you to be cooped up in a Games Workshop all your life. You've reached the natural ending point that most Games Workshop managers get to. Some of them sooner rather than later. I will say this as a closing statement of the video. I have never known a Games Workshop manager to work for Games Workshop for more than 10 years and not be extremely bitter and angry. I'm serious. They've all been very cliquey, very bitter, and very angry. All of them. All of them. They've always have something really shitty to say to people. They're always, it's just how it goes. Do you know why? Because they plateaued and they've seen everybody else around them go up and up and up and up and up and up. If you're a manager at Games Workshop and retail and you've been there for 10 years, you've seen at least 5 or 6 of your friends surpass you in the company or move on to other things and do well for themselves, and you're still a retail manager. Those guys are angry. Trust me, right? Even if they don't seem it, they may even be nice guys. I'm not saying they're bad people. But all of them are pissed off that they're still where they are. You don't want that to be you. It's run its course, man. And you're feeling it. Always no, dude. Not just for Games Workshop. When it's run its course, no. Go for something else. One thing that always really impresses me about somebody, like my missus does this as well, where she'll say things like, I'm not being challenged enough. Right? I need something new. I need to strive for something more. I'm not being challenged. I want something else. I want more responsibility. I want more things to do. I'm not reaching my potential. That's awesome. You want to be around people like that. And I think you're one of those people, right? That's really impressive. Because you're not sitting on your laurels, doing anything like that. You're always striving for more. Be that guy. You're on the right path. That's my suggestion, all right? All right. I love you a long time. I will speak to you tomorrow for some more 40k Advantage, and then I'll speak to you on Friday for some more Hobby Nightmares. Alright, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a good one. Bye now.